is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the It's Really Podcast, episode number 63. Today, we got a special guest, another fellow wrestling content creator. Somehow just stumbled right across YouTube, which is the greatest thing. David from David Turning Heel. What's going on, man?
What's going on?
But before we get started, you guys need to make sure you like, subscribe, all that stuff. But David, before we get started in the show, introduce yourself and let people know where you're from.
Hey guys, so my name is David. My channel, of course, is David Turning Heel. It is a wrestling podcast. It's dedicated to wrestling only. It's not like sports or wrestling or anything like that. But I'm originally from West Virginia. I don't live there anymore, so I won't reveal what state I'm in. But I have moved away from there. Just a little bit of background. I work IT right now, but I spent 14 years in television broadcasting. So I have a big background in that. And I've been a professional wrestling fan all my life. I was introduced to it as a child, probably about 5 or 6 years old. My best friend at the time, Joey Adams, he introduced me to wrestling. My favorite tag team, or my favorite wrestlers altogether, was the Rock and Roll Express at the time. So, I've been to a few wrestling shows, but yeah, and I've been, I've watched on and off, right? From when I was really young up until probably the end of the Monday Night Wars, and then I would pick up on and off and keep up with the internet and everything. But now I'm really kind of hardcore back into it.
Oh, fantastic! It's and as me and David were talking, it's kind of hard finding smaller wrestling content creator these days. So it's kind of actually a pleasure to actually stumble across you for the first time. Oh shit! I almost dropped my notes, but that's
I feel like the space nowadays. I feel like you find people who are. It's hard to be real, right? Like I have some hard takes and I have some soft takes, and I feel like content creators nowadays, for the most part, are either or, right? Like you got the JDs from NY who are just yelling at clouds.
Yeah,
things happen. And then you've got, I don't know, people like, and I love him to death as a wrestler and on What Culture, but you got like Simon Miller, who are just, everything's positive, rainbows and butterflies. And it's hard to find an authentic take in the space right now. So
no, it really is. So, David, welcome to the show. Pretty much is all because we kind of, if anybody that's follows the show, also too, for those who are new to this channel or go to David, make sure you check the pinned comment, get that, hit the thumbs up on his channel, and make sure you hit that subscribe button over there as well. Let's get him to 1,200 subscribers.
I appreciate that, guys.
First topic, this I don't know. This gotta to agree to disagree. Does AEW need a reboot? A slight reboot, I should say, is a better phrasing.
Before I do anything, I have to give a shout out to one of my subscribers, one of my mods. He's in the chat. He says yeah, and I have to respond to him. So yeah, I have to give him yeah.
Dude, he has a freaking LA Knight button. That's awesome.
I've got the setup. So
what?
I've got the so I have Tony Schiavone and the Yeti. The Yeti.
Oh God.
And of course I've got the so I've got a load of. I've got a pro.
That's great.
Roadcaster Pro over here. So I've got those sounds. So anyway, AEW needs a reboot.
Like a slight reboot. Like where in areas do you think they need a reboot?
Yes, and they need a new booker. They need somebody that can rope in everybody, right? Like, look, I like professional wrestling. Don't get me wrong, but professional wrestling has a history of people who are roughnecks, who are opinionated, who are quite possibly narcissists, and sometimes criminals. And I just don't and I'm not saying that everybody is like that, but I mean, the history is there. There's a reason there is a dark side of the ring, right? And
yeah.
I feel like Tony Khan is not the person to be leading that. Like, I don't even know if they need like a soft reboot, like they come out and be like, oh, everybody's storyline is null and void, and we're just going to start over, and here's our first match, right? I just don't think. I think Tony Khan either needs to step down or needs a helper when he comes up with an idea. Somebody go, you know what? It's not a great idea to announce another tournament tonight. Like, it's just, maybe you should do that. Maybe we should join a bowling league or something.
I agree. And me and Tara, we always had these conversations because it's like, because obviously, shout out to Sean Henderson, who actually knows, obviously, who runs the indie scene here in Jersey.
Mhm.
Went to high school with that guy.
And he actually learned the skill of actually know how to book matches. So he has the experience to do so. And
Awesome. I also have a high school wrestling connection. I went to high school with Jamie Noble.
Oh, that's so cool.
oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
No.
His nickname in high school was Doodle.
Doodle.
Oh, no.
He looks like a doodle.
Yeah. Honestly, and let's be real, yeah, I'm with David, and I think we all are in agreement here. I think Davi laid it out perfectly. You
Yeah.
could tell, go back to 2019, they actually had something really good going back in 2019. And ever since, 2020, 2021, 2022 came on, you can see the starting to dip in quality, because it seems like it's like quantity over quality is basically what some people look at it.
Yeah, I feel like with Cody in his ear in 2019, 2020, and part of 2021, there was professionalism there. Now you've got like that term goes, you have the inmates running the asylum now.
Right.
It's just how it is now. And like David said, he said what we were saying for a better part of a year, Rob. Like, he needs help with writing these shows and booking these shows, because he ain't doing it himself. He ain't,
No, he's not a writer. He's not a writer.
Yeah, he's not. He's not a writer at all. And plus, another problem that me and Rob were expressing with AEW, he's too buddy with these wrestlers. Way too buddy with them. You got to be a boss. You're a boss of this company. They're your employees. You got to be a boss.
100%. I agree with you on the Cody thing. So Cody, I was helping him book. He was helping him write storylines, and he was probably also showing him the ropes of the business. If somebody got out of line, if somebody did something stupid, Cody would look at, TK and go, hey, you need to take care of that. QT Marshall was also somebody that was very instrumental in that process, because him and Cody were big buddies. They were at the Nightmare Factory together. They were using the Nightmare Factory as a training ground, right? And so you get TK getting to a point where he thinks that he can control the booking. And I honestly think it was a power play. I think it was, okay, let's get rid of Cody, or not renew his contract, right? Or give him a lesser contract so he will leave. But besides, Cody wanted to go back to the WWE anyway. Like, that was always the plan. That was always the deal. And when Vince McMahon flies to your house, you say yes. When he actually comes to you, you say yes. But you also see it in the Elite, where they signed a new contract, but their powers have been scaled back quite a bit. Tony was leaning on CM Punk for quite a while, and we all saw where that got him, because that's where the power went. The EVPs were mad that the power was over there, so they started spreading rumors. Like, for me, Punk, like, I still have a lot of animosity for the things that he has done as a fan. But he wasn't alone in that, right? He wasn't like the first in WWE. He kind of was. He was, like, I think that, well, I'll take that back. I think it was both him and WWE, because the first time he wanted to be a top guy and get top guy pay, but then WWE expected him to do top guy things, right? Like, he was, there's a difference between injured and hurt 10 years ago anyway. So, if you're hurt, you can still wrestle. You know, you're not injured. And so they were expecting him to do top guy things. He was expecting to be treated as a top guy, and I think there was a miscommunication there. And for AEW, I think it was the EVPs losing power, and I think like I can't prove it. I don't have any like proof. This is a complete tinfoil hat, you know, conspiracy. But the whole London thing where his car wasn't there, I have a feeling it was to get him riled up. And I think Punk saw when he saw the real glass spot, Punk saw us out. He was like, I'm going to punch this guy in the face. I'm getting out of here. That's my theory.
Yeah. And you know, I've also seen people say, you know, like the elite, they don't like see the elite are like the right people to actually hold the EVP options. And well, we're seeing how that's really working terribly for all elite wrestling, because and this is why it means we haven't really done much Dynamite nor Collision and for the past multiple months.
Honestly, for the last month and a half,
it's been rough. It's been a rough patch for them.
It really has. Agreed. The Continental Classic is actually surprisingly good. It's surprisingly good.
That's what me and Tyler have been hearing, because, like I said, we've been out of it for about over until I've got a few months, because the product's been kind of hard to it's hard to sit through a freaking a 2-hour show without getting completely bored, so to speak.
Right, exactly.
But I think with AEW, I think there is potential for them to hopefully grow, because I really don't hope them to go to fizzle out like how WCW did back in 2001.
No, we don't like that at all.
No, that's be a bad thing.
Well, because, I mean, it would be a bad thing if WWE bought them, right? It would be a bad thing if WWE bought them and then kept their library and, you know, and fired all the people that were there. The best scenario out of that would be Impact coming in and going, okay, you know, we'll get bigger by absorbing you all in. So like that would be the best case scenario if AEW fold. I don't think they're going to fold. I just don't think they're going to be that competition that everybody thought they were going to be.
Yeah, and speaking with Impact though, and I think that what they're doing pretty well, because look, I know they're saying you don't want to book, you know, bigger arenas, and obviously, as you pointed out, the attendance problems, like, and people already will poke fun at Impact, like, oh, you're sitting, you know, 500 to about 2,000 type of people side. True. I mean, at the same time, I mean, what can Impact do? They hardly have any money, and they're just getting restarted, because me and Tyler pointed out the last time we ever watched Impact was, how long has it been? Years?
The last time I watched Impact, and this is solely because for me on my side, I don't have cable anymore, and the Access TV app doesn't have a live TV streaming feature, so I can't watch Impact. I can't do that.
I am subscribed to their YouTube channel, so I see the live 30-minute. It's a 30-minute delay, so I get to see every week's episode. It just instead of starting at 8, it starts at 8:30. So
yeah. But even with that though, even with that issue, I haven't watched since the pandemic.
And
when Kenny Omega somehow was there, and they had that partnership with AEW at one point, and it's like that was the last time I watched it, and it was only because I was watching AEW at the time.
And with Impact though, and I've always and I watched a few episodes because, you know, I've kind of been in and out of it, but I've noticed that, look, yeah, maybe smaller crowds, but they're trying to, I would say in a way, kind of fix what Dixie Carter kind of ruined of what potentially could have been a very, you know, had a successful future. And I know me and Tyler always have our issues with Dixie Carter, and I know we saw AJ Styles I think he did a shoot. I don't think it was, but I could probably be misunderstanding that.
It was a work shoot to start. It was a work shoot to start because he did that promo at one point talking about Dixie Carter and the money situation, all that stuff. They basically MJF'd the whole entire thing to start off. And then they had that whole fake apology thing, and he was there for like another year, and then 2014 he left.
And yeah, and seeing this new crop of talent on Impact, honestly, I think this women's division is going to be a lot better than what people are going to give them a ton of credit for. I mean, especially they're showcasing them each and every week, which is great because boy, how many times I've been hearing that mostly from wrestling fans is, women's wrestling well, honestly, what should be a draw, but at least get more attention to an extent. But thoughts on that?
Well, Impact has probably the best women's division, wrestler wise, right? Like they've got the talent that makes me believe that they're actually doing real harm to people. I think WWE probably has talent wise, like their upper card, their main eventers are really great. Their mid carders are awful.
Ugh.
Awful.
Awful is an understatement because good Lord.
When I watch them, I don't believe they're hurting people. Like it looks like they're just kind of going through the motion. So they're probably the weakest. AEW is probably the most balanced, right? Like I believe them, but they're not like they're not the most dynamic. They're not the most, exciting. Like I think Impact probably that women's division is that's legit. Like at least for the talent that they have. Now, it could be the problem, the reason why they're in Impact, unless I'm, not so much Trinity, but the reason why those people are in Impact is because they should have a 500-foot restraining order on every microphone that is ever in existence. but because they probably can't cut a promo. There's probably not a whole lot of talent there that would, but
yeah, and to piggyback off that, because that's what me and Tyra always talk about. You got to at least have some sort of coach to help them work through that,
right?
Because I think there's a perfect example. It's not just an Impact, but look at WWE. Zoe Stark, she could use more fine tuning. And look, don't get me wrong, the talent's there, but for the love of God, just please fine tune your promo skills, because
and it's one of those things like when you ask her to do something on the fly, right? Like when someone insults her and she needs a comeback, she doesn't have it. Like she just doesn't. Like there was a couple times when she was talking to Rhea or Nia Jax or something, and they come up with a really great zinger, and she's just like it's almost like she's holding her breath. To be honest with you, and I feel sorry for her because she's a great talent in the ring. I know, Nacho. I know she needs to go away. Stop it. The other night we had to have a go away list because Nacho was everybody I said that I mentioned, like Jey Uso and Zoe Stark and a couple others. He was like, they need to go away. Yep, he just
come on. Jey's actually having the best time of his career.
I don't know what I don't know anything about Jey Uso and Nacho. He just
I don't know. It's like me and Tyler with fucking Nia. It's like Nia Jax almost every single week we have to see her on television. Well, and that in Charlotte too, and that's a whole other story for another day.
Oh, God.
Speaking of that, actually,
have y'all seen word on that?
Which I did actually. Hang on,
because I've been at work all day. I haven't even looked at the dirt sheets since I got home. I was setting all this beautiful stuff up.
Yeah, because I usually get it because apparently they didn't say what type of knee injury it is, but it's pretty much slightly confirmed that it's going to be a quote unquote fairly serious knee injury, and that's going to keep her out for a while. For some reason, my gut, that's an AC. It could be.
The way she landed on her feet with that moonsault that she should just not do ever again because she never hits it well.
Well, she didn't. That was not what caused it. It was an off. I actually showed it on a video that I did. It was an off-camera spot. They were at commercial break, and they went for a suplex. And Charlotte got up and was on the actual top rope, standing on it. And when Asuka moved, Charlotte lost her balance. She took a step onto the rope, lost her balance completely, and then when she fell, her leg wrapped like not in the bend of the knee, but like on the side, like a Joe Theismann deal. Right across that rope.
Yeah, I think that's more than ACL, Rob. I think that's more than that, man. Oh my
I think that might
god.
be that might sound like a triple whammy. They
Like
both
Yeah,
it,
triple.
ACL, MCL, PCL.
Yeah,
like
all
it
that.
looked
And it sucks.
bad.
It's look, as much as I know we Tara give a lot of we criticize her a lot because I mean, look, she can't sell worth a damn. But look, the talent's there. Don't get me entirely wrong. But
I have
it's
to do this for you. I have to do this for you.
I am Charlotte Flair. I will do a flipping clothesline.
oh, I can't.
That's the greatest thing ever,
That's
man.
great. But yeah,
I unfortunately I can't take full credit for that one, but yeah, that's I got that voice changer and I'm like I have to do that. I like
well,
Charlotte.
you're not wrong though. Like you can
No.
see. Look, I had people calling me like a big Charlotte. It's like, yeah, call me all you want on Charlotte, but I've never seen in my life when she ever made her debut ever put on a solid match outside of with her match with Rhea, which
Oh God, that thing was a banger though. Like
it was.
Yeah.
it almost makes
It's hardly
up for
she ever
everything.
does, and it's like, I think what she said like 6'5", 6'6", somewhere around there because she was. I know cameras don't do her justice in terms of height because
Right.
it's. But knowing that she's got size, strength, like, and as Tyler put it, like she's got to have to change up her skill set. If this becomes,
Yeah,
But,
I think again, and I know it wasn't the spot that did it, but like that moonsault on SmackDown went wide freaking right.
Well, she always does that. No, how many like there was a right before I think it was Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Was it which one? Which one was it? Was Money in the Bank.
yeah, Money in the Bank.
They
Yeah.
had that match on SmackDown for the title when Asuka was the champion because they couldn't fit it on the PLE, and she did several moves in that championship match, and I called it Botch Fest London 2023.
Oh
Because
yeah,
there was like 6 of them, and one of them was the moonsault. She always misses that moonsault, especially with
Yeah.
Asuka. Now maybe Asuka's out of position, right? Maybe because she's always having to step up and try to grab her or something. But it just seems like every time she comes up with it is like she doesn't look where everybody is. She just kind of goes and hopes.
Yeah,
people are there.
and that really got to her on Friday because this one from this past Friday, that wasn't even Asuka's fault. That was
No.
all Charlotte because she completely misses her.
She literally almost ended her life. If she'd have hit the corner of that table,
Literally.
she would have ended
oh
her
yeah,
life.
that
She would end her. Yeah, she would end her life right there. And Asuka still sold it. I'm like, she's selling air right now.
Mhm.
She's not selling the moonsault. She's selling air, and it was blatantly obvious. And I'm an advocate for it. I'm like Charlotte needs to stop doing that move. She's
No, I
not
agree.
doing it well. She never does it well, ever.
because. And I even pointed out even on social media, it's like, and I had a lot of diehard Charlotte fans come at me because I've seen some better, prettier moonsaults. Jeffy Stratton, we're looking at you, is a perfect example.
Tiffany Stratton,
Give me
she hits
fucking
that
Jim-
thing clean.
Yep.
So does Giovanni
Ooh.
Vinci whenever the time calls for it. Like no
Yeah,
one
he
gives him a
hits it
lot
clean
of
too.
credit for it.
Io
Just the
Sky
name-
is probably
Oh, Io Sky.
Io Sky
Great
for
too.
sure.
amazing at that.
Despite
She
after
really
getting
is.
taking a beating in that Survivor Series War Games this past September
Mhm.
or this November. I'm an idiot because
November.
it was-
Yeah, because remember, Survivor Series is always right before Thanksgiving.
Right.
Sometimes I can't forget. But yeah, so obviously PW Insider did report that although there's been no official diagnosis yet, which, the way how it seems, it's going to put her out probably.
The way that it sounds, like she got hung up on the rope, like
Uh-huh.
like Theismann, like yeah, that sounds to me ACL, MCL, PCL,
Yeah.
all three
she
at
hit
once. Yeah,
But yeah, and it sucks. I hate seeing wrestlers getting hurt, but it's in case of Charlotte Flair, like we all, because like I said, don't wish. Let's be real, I don't wish an injury to nobody, but in terms like with Charlotte Flair, like sometimes I'm really surprised how she has not blown her knee out with all these botched moonsaults and some of these moves that she does. It's like I'm
Yeah.
Oh, that could what happened the other night could be an accumulation of all the stuff, right? Like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like she could
Yep.
probably had nicks and everything in there, and it just decided to blow at that point. So
Yeah.
And
And
Charlotte's
Chris
spring chicken.
and Chris in the comments, I'm reading the comment. She could miss WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Which that's a big card. You want to be on that show.
Oh yeah.
And if you're gonna miss that, yeah, you're gonna have to reevaluate your game plan to make sure you don't blow out anything again.
Because
Like I get
this
it's wrestling injuries happen, but some of these injuries are self-inducing sometimes, and it's like something's got to give with her because every time she either does a moonsault or does these moves and it gets botched, she's getting hurt.
Yeah,
she needs to reevaluate her game plan.
I had one of my chatters just say Charlotte had a woo energy before the match, causing her to botch.
But sticking with Charlotte though, and Charlotte, she's no spring chicken. She's probably 30.
She's in her mid-30s, I think.
Yeah,
Give or take. It's like, and it stinks because I mean, and I don't think this is like the first series. I don't recall this could be the first serious injury she's had during her time in the company. But if that's the case, like, and that's our point, she's got to reevaluate your game plan because at this point, she's becoming injury prone. Like another star, or what could have been.
Now I know who you're going with the comparison. I feel like with Tegan's case, that's just sheer bad luck every time with her. She's not doing anything too extravagant, and somehow she's blowing out something. Like,
I mean, it could just be abuse on her body, right? Like some people are like that. Some people, stiff wind comes by and they're going to get injured. So I think that was actually Nacho that
he's actually came over for a little bit. So what's going on, Nacho?
Awesome.
But shout out to Chris though. Yeah. Charlotte's 37.
Damn, she's pushing 40. So she's getting old. She's getting older. So as you reach that age of like, okay, you're going to be 40 soon, you're getting older, you gotta watch you gotta watch yourself with your body, because when you get older, your body, of course, isn't going to cooperate as it was when you're in your 20s or in your prime early 30s. Like,
right, your recovery is a lot longer. Your recovery is
a lot longer. Yes,
I'm 48.
Yes.
I should know your recovery is a lot longer. So,
yeah,
and to point, I mean, look, there's some exclusion to that. We see some wrestlers actually do pretty well as they get older for whatever reason.
And Chris, to read your comment too, Bailey missing a year with a torn ACL. That was sheer. That was bad luck too. That was bad luck too. And she needed that time off anyway.
Yeah, Dakota Kai was another example as well.
Dakota Kai, she's like, oh my god, like I wouldn't call her injury prone because like her last injury prior to her getting hurt was like a year prior to that. But as far as people like Tegan Knox goes or Charlotte goes, they're injury prone.
Well, medical science has gotten to the point where you can wrestle longer. Like, look at all the main eventers right now. But back in the day, like they got in their 30s and they took off, right? And now you've got main eventers in WWE, in AEW, in their 50s and 60s. I mean, the 50-year-olds have to rest up a little bit more than maybe the early 40 ones. But I mean, Finn Balor, I didn't know he was 41.
Neither did I. I thought he was in his early 30s.
Yeah, I saw that and it was almost like a culture shock. I'm like, how the heck is he 41?
Right.
Hell, you also had Asuka's in her early 40s. Like, huh?
Yeah.
You look at her and you're like, how? Like, you would look at Asuka and you think early 30s.
Her history is really, really interesting.
Oh, she has a very interesting backstory.
Yes, she does.
And I think another one, as medical science has come a long way. I mean, speaking with AJ Styles. So that's another thing that's segueing to the next one, actually, because AJ Styles was reported supposed to be coming back this week.
Uh-huh.
But apparently there was no creative plans for him at the moment. So, so he's ready to return any type of. So he should have been returned. He should have been back 3 weeks ago.
They've been
according-
doing that. Yeah, they've been doing that for a little bit. Like, there's plans for him to return. Oh wait, we got nothing for him. Every week it's been like that for the last three
They
weeks.
did this. They did this with Carlito's return too, right? Like when I first heard that he was coming back, it was July, and then he didn't show up until much later.
No, he didn't show up until what was it? What pay-per-view was it?
Was it Backlash or Fastlane?
I think it might have been back.
No, it was
Backlash.
Fastlane. It was Fastlane.
Fastlane. So
It was Fastlane.
yeah, they did that with that. I think it's just the fact that they're so hot right now, and they've got so many stories that they want to tell that it's hard to get. You're 6 months out from any new creative, and they had him in that feud with Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is now buried. I'm sorry, I know people will.
Oh yeah,
We've known that for a year, me and Rod. We known that for a year.
He lost to Bobby Lashley. I'm sorry. Like you're just you're a jobber now. you're going to be jerking that curtain. Like it's just it is what it is.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. I want to see AJ Styles back on TV, but you said it perfectly. We have to wait till all these current creative is up, then you can start doing it. Because, quite honestly, I think what's Smack was he Raw on SmackDown? It might be Raw.
He was
AJ. He's on SmackDown.
Yeah, he was on SmackDown before he got hurt.
And obviously, that's what I think SmackDown need. I think SmackDown's missing that big star, and I think AJ's that guy.
SmackDown up until recently was Roman Reigns and a bunch of mid-carders. Like all your main event talent, honestly and truly on the men's side, were over on Raw. You had Cody Rhodes, you had Sami Zayn, you had Kevin Owens, you had the Judgment Day, you had Mommy, you had even Dominic. Dominic, I'm sorry, a lot of people, I hate Dominic, boo, but he is in that main event scene. He may not be, doing the championship thing, but storyline wise, he is in the main event scene. So, but over on SmackDown, you had Roman Reigns, Rey Mysterio could qualify, but he was stuck in the mid card with the LWO and doing that stuff. You made Roman Reigns, or not Roman, but LA Knight a main eventer, but that took a while, right?
That's
like that was McMahon still in power and not wanting to push him that hard. And I think that he's been losing power a lot longer than we've known about it, right? A lot longer than the stories. So I think once Triple H took over, he saw what he had in LA Knight and decided to push him.
Yeah, boy, and we've been saying that for about a year and a half, give or take, because I pushed the damn dude because
we were like, push this man. Like, and my point was like, do you hear this crowd every time he comes out? Push this man.
Yeah,
the crowd loves this guy. Push him.
Right in the ring.
You made him, and then who else was over on SmackDown? And it's probably one of the reasons why Roman, once he got done with SummerSlam and got done with Jey Uso, has been, he's been absent, because who over there is built big enough to even just get into the ring with him besides LA Knight?
I mean,
hardly anybody.
Maybe now Randy Orton, but
yeah, Randy. I mean, that's the closest you could probably get at that point in terms of main eventer.
That's the biggest problem with building these championships up and having such long reigns. And I think it's something they haven't done very well. I think it's one of the things that Triple H doesn't do very well. He does the champion really well, right? Like 1,000-day reigns and 500-day reigns for the Intercontinental and all this stuff. But you build them up so big, like they either just stay there, or you have to build your mid card up to go and face these guys. And the more mid cards they keep beating, the bigger he gets, So,
and honestly, and good point too. I mean, and I think Gunther has done a really good job with the IC belt, But at the same time, we got to look at the competition he's faced.
Right.
I know that's what people are going to knock him on that for that, but it's like, what can the company do? Raw doesn't have that great of a mid card for that matter.
No.
I mean, if you tell me who has the currently on the main roster has a better mid card, I'll probably say more SmackDown if I'm going to have to put
no
from a talent perspective.
100%, because right now Raw is a bunch of comedy acts. You've got the
Oh,
New Day.
yeah.
I love the New Day, but they're a comedy act. You've got Alpha Academy. They're a comedy act. They're putting in the Creed brothers with them to do a bunch of comedy stuff. Like, it's just like, I think they've done the whole Tozawa spot where he's dancing, like this. They've done that every Monday for the last month and a half now. Like, can we get a little something more? Can we get something different? Can we just, I don't know. Can we move forward and not do that spot
I agree.
tonight?
And I've been seeing Leo Rhea getting some hate because, I mean, the only one I can see that's actually a potential threat to take the damn belt off her is probably Raquel.
Right.
If you match power for power, I mean, look, when me and Tara watched that match, I thought that was a solid match between the two women, between Rhea and Raquel. Like, but Raw doesn't really that strong of a women's division because, boy, you got Michin, who no one gives two shits about. Right. Candice LeRae doesn't connect with a lot of people because the gimmick's not right.
Indy
else?
Hartwell, Tegan
Who knows
Knox.
where the hell she's been?
Well, Indy was she wrestled Xia Li, which nobody cares about. Like, I don't care how many people she kicks.
Which sucks.
Yeah, but nobody cares about her. Nobody cares about and I love this tag team, but nobody cares about them. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. I love that tag team. They've got some really great double team moves, but again, Zoe, I think wrestling wise and like in-ring ability would have in my mind, a good chance, but she can't connect with the crowd. And I honestly think it's an NXT problem. I really do.
Trust me. I talked to a lot of people about this because it just seems to me like every time the only time I watch NXT is for the women's division because let's be real, they have a much better women's division than the men.
God, you know what? They might even be better than Impact. I watched that Survivor.
That would be interesting. That would be to see. But at the same time, I've always said Shawn Michaels needs help booking the men's division down there because, Jesus. Look, I thought the deadline was a solid pay-per-view, but I'm sorry, but Blair Davenport, I don't think she's ready just yet in terms of the title picture. I think Stratton should have gotten that one. And Trick Williams is way too freaking green for me.
Like the men's Survivor match was, well, I mean, to quote a Kentucky podcaster, it was the drizzling shits. It was awful. Now for the women's, oh my God.
Yeah, I think it was better than last year's.
That thing, just when Tiffany come off that box and hit everybody.
Right.
It was amazing. Like that whole deal was so good. But there again, they're on NXT. There is probably a bunch of people that could go over to the main roster and do really well, and take some of those mid-card spots that where they're not getting over. The problem is now you have a whole brand that you're trying to actually make a brand, doesn't have anything. So
and that kind of goes back to, because me and Tara were actually talking about this point, because like this all stemmed back after 2019. I think after 2019, when Vince got his hands on NXT, that's pretty much spelled the death of NXT, pretty much. Now, when if you took this ribbons roster and put on with the black and gold represented, oh boy, you got, and also the men's too, with Carmelo Hayes' money, Braun Breaker's a complete fucking badass. Which, by the way, can we get these two guys up on the goddamn main roster at some point? Because Braun Breaker, he's been ready for a while, from what I've seen.
There's a reason why Melo is not on the main roster, and let me tell you why. June 26th, Monday Night Raw. I was there. Inside the arena, old Finn Balor come down, boos. It was, what it was supposed to be. Mello come out, Mello's music hit, and you could, besides the music, you could pin drop.
Yeah, I remember because me and Tyler were doing that. I think we did that episode before. It's like, yeah, there
We
was
looked at each other and
none.
we were like, we were looking at each other and we were like, why is it so quiet? But if you notice too, like on the TV broadcast, I don't know if it was the same there. The crowd started to pick up.
Yeah.
The crowd level started to pick up, unless that was piped in.
That's your pipe in. That's your pipe in. There was a sprinkling of NXT, but nothing for Mello. They booed Finn, but Mello, it was nothing. And that's why I say they have an NXT problem. They bring these people over from NXT that shows only if you don't have a main roster star, it's only getting maximum 600,000 views or viewers on a Tuesday night.
Oh,
so
yeah. And that's why I put it, and that's why I made a community post. Because I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. It's like, yeah, that was a bad idea.
Did you see Hardcam side for Deadline?
See, I haven't seen Hardcam side.
It looks like a collision.
It's usually really
match with the drizzling shits.
Steel
cage matches and Deadline. I'm sorry, that was fucking terrible. Don't get me wrong. Me and Tyler, we have been very high on Roxanne, and I've been very interested.
I feel like it's Kiana James. She's very green.
Like the chemistry is not there,
and there's no chemistry.
I just wondered how many bad girls can we have? Like how many Lindsay Lohans can we fit into NXT? We got Tiffany Stratton.
Lindsay Lohan.
We got Lindsay Lohan reference.
We got Tiffany Stratton. We've got Cora Jade. We've got Kiana James. Like how many can come down with just kind of it's the same character. It's just like
we got Mean Girls Lindsay Lohan. We got freaking Freaky Friday Lindsay Lohan.
Well, yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? Like it's
I understand.
Sure. All like those three are just kind of the same character. They come out there, they beat people up, they push people around, and then they leave, and it just kind of like, oh, okay. So
yeah, and what's also great about it too, and like I said, I actually enjoyed Deadline, which even though when I saw the after clips, it's like it's kind of crazy. It comes full circle when Cora Jade actually. Oh, how long has it been since? Well over
the last time her and Punk actually saw each other was in that UFC press conference thing, or whatever.
I think he was like doing a signing. It's like, boy, how comes
he was like, this girl keeps following me around.
I thought that
making jokes about
that was really endearing. I really did.
And the fact that she gets and look, and like we said, and I think the women's division,
the best part about that whole thing, guys, was when he put his hand on her shoulder and was like, "You're gonna be something." In that little interview.
Because you could see there is something there with Cora Jade.
Yeah.
Now, could it be something different besides the bad girl gimmick? Oh, absolutely. I think there's.
I feel like that whole thing overstayed its welcome. I really do.
I feel like Tiffany can stay the bad girl because
she's got to look for it.
Well, she's got to look for it, and also it's a little bit. It's more of a Barbie type of deal.
Thank you. That's what I've always said.
You've got Cora Jade and Kiana James. They are a little bit different, but one of them's got to change their gimmick. One of them's got to do and either turn babyface or stay heel and change.
I think for me, it could be Cora Jade because she has done some pretty good work as a babyface and a heel at the same time.
True.
So
yeah, she's done very good work with that, and they tried to do that little mini babyface thing with Kiana James for a little bit. That whole fake out babyface thing when she was tagging with what's her face? Forgot her name.
I have no idea.
But yeah, they they did have to do that. They had to do the mini babyface turn, which was it was a fake babyface thing because she was gonna turn heel. She was gonna. It was in that stupid storyline where she was like in that relationship with what's his face, Brooks Jensen or whatever the hell. Like,
Oh yeah, those two goofballs
yeah, those two
with Fallon
goofballs.
Henley. Yeah,
And
that's her. That
Fallon
cheesy
Henley,
bar
yeah, and she was
triangle.
tagging with her, but it came out that she was using him and all other the turn her back heel was a
Nonsense.
fake heel. It was a fake face turn. It was like, okay,
Yeah, it,
but
it was really stupid.
it was a
Quite
stupid
honestly.
storyline.
I kind of feel
It
like
was a
that's
stupid.
what's going to happen with what's her name, JC Jane and Chase U. Like she's going to end up turning and being a heel or something. Like she's probably going to be the one that turned in the evidence on Chase U.
I think that's going to be the case too.
And I've been very impressed with what they've been doing with Thea Hill because, and obviously me and Tara, we told her about that. Well, she's got like she's taking how do we describe her? Like put her like like 15
I said she had like 15 coffees, 15 5-hour energy drinks, 30 Red Bulls. Like she's hyped up like every week. It's like, okay, calm
But
down.
now they kind of got away from that and give more of a serious side. It's like, you know what?
And I was thinking this is her heel turn. They're gonna have Thea Hale get influenced by JC Jane, but they're taking their time with it.
And I'm okay with it because Chase U for me, if I think we can all agree, it screams jobbers right off the bat.
Well, yeah,
gimmick wise, that is.
Yeah, it's a mid card act.
I like
good
good touch. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it's just meh, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it's a good mid card gimmick, but it's never going to be main event. You know, like you're never going to see Mr. Chase out there, you know, fighting Ilya Dragunov for the NXT title. Like that's not going to happen.
Double Ilya Dragunov, good freaking lord!
I think honestly and truly, him and a couple others just need to be called up. But the problem, like again, is once you do. It's a brand. It's a brand now, and that's what they want. They want that to be more than a developmental brand. Putting it on a network is a good idea. Putting it on CW, I don't know. You know,
that remains to be seen.
Right?
Yeah, that remains to be seen because even when they put SmackDown on Fox, it didn't really move the needle that much because they're still getting 1 million views. Like it's it's the same thing as they were on USA Network, and now Fox wants to do away with them in 2024. So it's like,
and that kind of brings up the biggest question, like who wants Raw? Because Raw, I think their deal is going to be up very soon with USA.
Y'all want to talk TV deals? Is that what y'all want to do?
Yeah, that's kind of that's another thing. That was a perfect segue into my next topic. Was the TV deal?
That was a segue.
Well, so right now, I mean, everybody's kind of like, oh, Raw doesn't have a deal, or AEW doesn't have a deal for either one of their shows, blah, blah, blah. And the problem is everybody needs to kind of just calm down for a minute because there's an elephant in the room. There's a giant elephant in the room, and it's called the NBA. Everything that I've read, everything I've talked to, that thing is like they're wanting $75 billion for the 5 years. Yeah. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So whoever, like, these shows are going to go to somebody. It just depends on where the NBA lands. Like NXT or AEW might have the worst path in the world.
100%. Because, and I think I remember some ratings too, because you know, when they were on TNT before they made the move, it's like it wasn't great. It like they were trying to, and I don't know, they were competing at the time with the NBA, but at the same time, but the ratings were not that great on TNT, and we're seeing it now. It's, I don't know, it is a really weird situation, I guess.
Yeah, there was like a lot of times where they were on TNT, they had to move to a random Saturday because the NBA were airing a basketball game that Wednesday. And then it also was a big issue when the playoffs came around.
And yeah, so you're going to have to, like, they're going to have to negotiate after the NBA is done. Now, the WWE is talking like maybe they have a suitor, maybe they're going to go somewhere with Raw. It might be a streaming service. It might be something like Amazon, maybe Peacock. I don't know. if NBC could be the place for all of WWE, it would tremendously help them out. It really would. It just depends on
Oh yeah.
because NBC is also buying for the NBA rights. So they're trying to save that money and seeing where they're going to go. AEW could honestly be the big loser here because I know a lot of people are like, well, WB has stake in AEW, blah, 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 and ownership and stuff like that. Look, like if they don't get the NBA, what do you take? Like you have Raw out there and you have AEW. Which one do you do? Raw, if you move Raw off a Monday onto a Tuesday night or something where you don't have to fight with the NBA or sorry, the NFL half the year, you're looking at $2 million per
Like
episode.
2 million plus easy.
Right. It's
Yeah.
it's 1.3 to 1.5 on an NFL night. So I mean, God, I was watching this podcast. It was TWR or whatever, and they were talking about Gunther and how it was like, yeah, he's a great champion, record low ratings, and I'm like, dude, you are looking at the ratings from September to February. What happens from February to
So now it's a whole different
to
story.
September? It's crazy, but people want to misrepresent that, right? Like it's sensationalizing. So. But if you have your choice of Raw or AEW, which all three shows on AEW doesn't equal a Raw, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer, unless there is really an ownership stake, right? And if there is an ownership stake, then maybe Raw goes to a streaming service or FX or Disney Plus or something like that, or Peacock.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and it's going to be interesting to see as well. Speaking of which, I think that's kind of flew under the radar to a lot of people that actually should today. WWE and Major League and MLW have reached a settlement in the antitrust lawsuit. I think it was about a couple of years ago where you had Court Bauer actually filed a lawsuit against WWE for I think violating the antitrust. And it's like it just seemed. I don't know.
It was initially when they went to Peacock and MLW was mad that WWE went to Peacock and all that mess and it was
weren't they also trying to poach MLW's talent as well?
I think so.
I think they were. I think they were too. They were poaching their talent, and plus the whole Peacock deal that came into play too. It's like there's a multitude of factors as to why MLW was suing WWE at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was just like it was a messy dispute.
What was the settlement? Is it disclosed or is it just they settled?
So pretty much the original, the lawsuit, the original suit had included allegations that WWE violated the Sherman Antitrust Act in the U.S. market for pro wrestling content. WWE attempted to undermine the competition for MLW's pursuit of media distribution deals. So WWE was trying to avoid or try to stop MLW having a media deal. So the settlement, from my understanding, according to Wrestling News ICO, it looks like it's an undisclosed settlement at the moment.
Okay, so it's go away money. It's not
pretty much.
It's not so much they're admitting fault or that it's going to be at a great amount.
It's just pretty much that take this and go away, basically.
Right. Our lawyer fees will be more than this amount that we're giving you. So we're just gonna make you go away. Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, and it just seems to me, and trust me, I've been out of MLW for a while. It just really hasn't really hit the same as it used to back in the day. When I'll catch like some reruns on Fight TV, which now has actually become Triller TV as well in some areas. But
yeah, I would catch it live when they do it. Like, I mean, it's not really. Well, it is live, like on like Monday at like whatever, and then on YouTube, and then like they usually like air on the Friday broadcast on like the Friday broadcast on like a random sports network. So it's like okay, but yeah, it doesn't really hit. It doesn't really hit like it used to.
But moving to Impact before, because I forgot to put this in my notes. So TNA Wrestling actually is doing a partnership with Endeavor Streaming to distribute TNA Plus, which I'm all for it because let's be real, who watches? Because first of all, Access TV is pretty much a music channel, and you can get your tickets to concerts and crap like that. It's like
true.
It's like Like
What Super Bowl
like
is this from?
I've liked what I've seen from TNA. Just they need, and
28
I
to
think this
3.
will be very
Falcons
nice.
blow the lead.
He knows.
Um,
I don't know. Falcon something? I don't know.
When the Falcons.
When they blew a 28 to 3
Yeah,
lead.
what Super Bowl was that?
Super Bowl
I have no
51.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
So with TNA coming back, I hopefully don't expect too many changes going forward. I mean, obviously they're going back to the original.
I feel like it's just a gimmick. I feel like
Yeah.
that they're looking for some kind of, it's a reboot, trying to make people kind of look at it again, but I don't foresee them doing any big deals or anything
It's
like
a positive. I could get behind that. It's going to take them a while to really get back, at least try to be somewhat the probably the kind of, I would say, better alternative, because I mean, would you rather watch an episode of Impact or AEW on a weekly basis?
Honestly, AEW. I know I give Tony Khan and AEW down the road, and deservedly so. Okay, but man, like if I was to go with either one, it'd probably be AEW. Like they do have a better product than TNA. They just need leadership. They need
absolutely.
They need leadership. They need to stop relying on old talent and develop new talent. That old talent was only supposed to be there to put over the new talent, right? Like they were supposed to have like a year and a half run, and then, hey, let's put over Sammy Guevara. Hey, let's put over Daniel Garcia. Hey, let's put over this dude and Darby Allin, which is, he's, again, there's the leadership thing. Darby Allin, he's under AEW contract, and I understand that he's a daredevil and he's not long for the business, but if you're under AEW contract, the last thing you need to be doing is climbing Mount Everest. And
yeah, true. I
don't get that. I just don't get it. Like McMahon or Hunter or anybody over in the WWE is like, you want to do what? In how much time? No.
Oh no, because and at the same point too, piggyback out that it's like AEW times is some of the superstars are super reckless, and they're going to wind up. One of them's going to get themselves killed. And and
it's and that also brings me back to Darby Allin. Can you stop doing the blind freaking coffin drop onto the apron, please? Thank you.
Like you're not going to, and it's kind of the same. And I mean, you can also make the same argument with Bryan Danielson, because he's kind of coming out full force, and I think the WWS is like you're talented, but we're not going to not have you push yourself to the point where you're going to constantly get hurt.
Right.
It's it's bad, but
Bryan Danielson, like it's one of those things where like he pushes the line between his injuries, right? So he has a broken orbital bone. Hey, how about let's put your thumb in it and put it and break the stitches and stuff like that, or let's go ahead and just blade it. And then the spot that he did when he broke his arm and he pretended to have a seizure.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like it for that man right there, like he's great, he really is, but this is the man you're making the decisions on finding people and voting for decisions that that end up firing people, and he can't make a great decision for his own career.
That's right. Yeah, true. So I got a couple more topics before we get to obviously guess the rest of the theme for those who have been around the show for a while. So Seth Rollins has kind of been in the news, but not in a negative way, but kind of interesting regarding his contract status. So his current deal is slated to expire in a few months.
Uh-huh.
Now, I think there's going to be and obviously there's been talks about negotiations. I'm pretty sure he's going to stay for how much longer they're going to give him. Because I think actually he's done pretty well. I mean, in terms of within World Heavyweight Championship, it's, I mean, at some point, it's, the question is who's going to be the next guy up, which for me, and I think we all can somewhat agree, is probably going to be Gunther at some point. But the question is, who's going to, and and I think David also pointed to that's kind of where nitpick is the mid card talent is competition is is meh.
Yeah, it's slim pickings right now. It's slim pickings over in WWE land. Like, it's
Chad
like,
Gable, that ship has sailed. I mean,
he's never going to leave the WWE. Like, it's just not going to happen. He is going to be a Stone Cold, a Undertaker type figure for the rest of his life. Yeah, like, it's like, I can understand why Edge did it, right? Because Edge wanted to go play around with his best friend in the empty arena, and that's fine. But like, his wife is there, right? Like he is probably going to end up in Florida at some point, like helping other talent or being backstage during Raws and SmackDowns. He will probably get into the other side of the business eventually. And I think
I can see him
WWE
being
would love
backstage
to
for
have him.
NXT and go back to his own stomping grounds and actually help out Shawn Michaels with the NXT product.
I could see that too, because how much he loved NXT, how much he respects NXT. I could see that too.
Yeah,
Seth going down there helping
sky's the
that
limit
younger
with
guy.
Seth. I mean, the dude's knowledge, and let's be real, the dude's know how to put on some solid bangers of matches.
He's probably that type of guy. If you're a wrestler, you could talk his ear off saying, "Hey man, I need help with this. Can you help me with this?" And he'll tell you what to do. Like,
yeah, but
let me give you
also
advice
don't cross
here.
him.
Yeah.
Also don't cross him, because you know, like he holds grudges. He definitely holds grudges. And
yeah, that's that's true.
We seen that when Punk came back.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing a work shoot, right? I mean, it is a work shoot, but
it is a work shoot.
It's still, you know, like those were his real feelings, but it was to try to convince us that it was his real feelings, right? So,
they were working us. Yeah, they were definitely working us there.
Right. And you know, the same thing with Cody, because Cody, I mean, he didn't go to the lengths that Punk did, but you know, he did talk bad about the WWE. He talked bad about
I remember that. That was some.
But there was professionalism there. There was professionalism there when Cody came back, and you're like, yeah, I don't like you that much, but I'm gonna work with you because I'm a professional.
Right.
Let's give the fans a bang.
100%.
And the Elimination Chamber going to the Perth, Australia, actually start off very strong with ticket sales. You know, obviously, for those who don't know why Rio's not been on TV, she's kind of acting as that ambassador to help promote Elimination Chamber down in Australia because, well, it's in her backyard.
That's her neck of the woods. Yeah, that's her neck of the woods.
Now, I've heard two stories about this. I've heard that ticket sales are great, and I've heard ticket sales are the shit. And I don't know because Meltzer come out and said, "Hey, you know, ticket sales aren't doing well in Perth," and then I hear, "Oh, well, maybe they are doing well in Perth." So I don't know. I don't know where if WrestleTix has brought that out, and I actually have his Patreon.
PW Insider actually did show to report that the show has sold over 45,000 seats thus far, making them available in late October. The stadium that they're going to be holding is over 70,000, up to 70,000 for concerts, while WWE could potentially fit 55,000 with the stage.
Nice. So they're 10,000 away with what, 2 months left,
give or take.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal to get that in there. So don't think it's going to be that big of it. It's not going to be a collision. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely not a collision. Like, that's going to be like way better than Collision. Sheesh.
Yeah.
It's like it's going to be like, I would say more like Money in the Bank and or Clash at the Castle. Like barely, you can see any empty seats.
Those numbers, yeah.
Because then again, at the same time, though, if Grayson Waller's on the show, that would be fucking fantastic. That's another guy.
I did see him doing a freaking shoe on top of the damn stage.
Oh yeah,
him doing a damn shoey.
Because he's like
they're going to enjoy that. Like, I think the hometown crowd's gonna enjoy Grayson. Like, it would probably be one of the few times he actually gets cheered.
Yeah, that's true. But really looking at it, and I think, you know, I know you talked about this before on your show, how WWE's actually been very highly on that Grayson Waller Austin Theory tag team. Now going long term, it's like, Wow, that's
And I've been saying it, and I've been saying it too. Like the whole pairing with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, it gave Austin Theory new life because he's more charismatic now than he was as a single star.
100%. Like it is night and day.
Yeah.
What they have done, and I think maybe a little like I think it's also storyline too. I think it's also the way they're booking them. They're booking them as a comedy act. I think KO really helps in that as well. As long as they can be the comedic heel group and do kind of the silly things and come out as KO and use Austin or use Grayson Waller effect show to their advantage, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I find
'cause-
and the one thing that proves that they are what you say they are in the whole Kevin Owens thing is when he three stooged them, punched them both at the same time with one punch.
Oh yeah,
That was
definitely.
hilarious.
And at the same time, we can also take this back to what John Cena said about Austin Theory. Said, "Look, no one's going to buy into what you're selling. Like you're just there."
Right.
Yeah, you're just there because you're like as a single star. That's what he was. He was just there.
My man was bully number one. It's the same thing with Stratton, Kiana James, and Cora Jade. They're bad girl number 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And unless they get some kind of like Tiffany is probably the better of the 3, but the other two,
that's for sure.
They need something else, right?
And I agree.
I thought that Austin Theory is, he's bully number 1. He looks good. He makes fun of people and all this stuff, and he gets punked by the good guys. Austin has punked him, Rock has punked him. So yeah, he just needs a little better. He needs a little better gimmick. And yeah. I think they've got one for him.
I think now. John Cena said it perfectly too, because remember John Cena was in that exact same spot before.
Yep.
He was saying too, and he was completely right on it because Austin Theory won the match. He goes, "What happens if you beat me at Mania? No one's gonna care."
Right.
And guess what? The day after WrestleMania, he shows up on Raw. No one cared.
Right.
Because you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
And he has to keep reminding us that he beat John Cena.
Yeah. Every week, I beat John Cena. And we're like, we don't care.
And at the same time, it's like, it's not what it used to be. Like, if you beat John Cena now, it's like, okay. So what? But it's not like
you beat a middle-aged John Cena who's balding. Who cares?
Like in case especially one who hasn't won a singles match since 2018. And I mean, if you wanted to beat 2008, 2009, 2010 John Cena, I'd give you props. But
easy.
But
I could pretend Cap you beat 2010 John Cena.
To this point, it's almost not a rub, Like if they put a new guy against John Cena at this point, it's almost not a rub.
It's going to bring him down,
right?
Because look, I'm not going to listen. I can't take away nothing from John Cena what he's given over the past 20 years. And sure, I mean what he's done pretty well is actually give Kevin Owens the rub. I think that was back in 17, 18.
That was like 2015,
2014, 2015. Because I kind of picked it back up a little bit. Like when The Rock come back and took on John Cena, and then I watched it for a few more years after that. So
yeah, and back then John Cena was a full timer, but he could still go. You get a rub from 2015 John Cena, you're set.
Right.
But there's a reason why he's doing more movies now and less wrestling matches.
His body can't help.
He's older.
He doesn't have to put his body on the line. He probably makes more money. Yeah.
Yep. And 9 times out of 10, since he's doing movies now, he's losing matches that he's going to show up to wrestle.
Right.
Because again, a lot of these movie studios, they don't want to hurt wrestlers back.
And I think John Cena's just there just to help put over talent.
Right. Well, we saw what happened here. John Cena had to go in for elbow surgery after his.
Yeah, I've actually read a report about that. It's like that was
and again though, it's like now you beat John Cena, so what?
Yeah. Like it doesn't have the same feel as it used
like
to.
Everybody knew like when John Cena shows up for a match and the other guy's gonna win. Now, like back in 2010 to 2015, you didn't know the guy was gonna lose.
Right.
Like that's the point. Like now it's like you beat John Cena, so what? Yeah. He's doing movies now. You were gonna beat him anyway. We expected it.
And look, and John Cena has given us, let's be real, some countless moments over the last 2 decades.
Right.
His feud with Edge, one of the best feuds ever.
I think it's probably the most greatest feuds he's been with.
Yeah.
And hell, like people don't give him a lot of credit to. Like he can be ruthless, like before the PG era. Like in the most, like in certain, like he's not trying to be subtle with it. Case in point with Lita, boy, Lita was not the short end of the stick on that one back in 2000.
He flat out called her ass out. You a hoe. Like,
without even saying that. That's the crazy part. Like,
no, it wasn't without him saying it. He said it to her face in a promo.
Yeah,
to her face.
It was definitely a different time. It was definitely
it was a different
time.
That was my era compared to now. Oh boy, night and day.
Yeah, take it from me, who's actually experienced the Attitude Era, and in terms of for those who've seen our wrestling watch parties, you understand why.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Watch our latest Raw retro watch party. You'll see why. You'll definitely see why.
And also, we got WCW coming up this week as well. For those who are excited for our retro watch parties from 1995.
Oh wow. Okay.
But obviously, we're at the end of the show, but we got our final segment as Cole Guest the Wrestler's theme. Obviously, means
now you're going to be a part of this, man. You're going to be a part of this, David, man.
So how this goes is each and every week, me and Tyler will pick.
Now, Rob, before we go with the rules, should we do a buzzer system since we have a guest?
Yeah, you know what? Let's go over that way.
Yeah.
So the rules, it's pretty much self-explanatory. We'll find some of the most obscure lyrics. You're going to have to, like, there's like no time limit, but if you feel very stumped, you can say, you can just throw in the towel, and we'll tell you.
I'm just going to say pass if I get stumped.
Okay.
So we're going back to 2004, and that's the only thing I'm going to give you. So
2004. Okay.
Right. So the lines goes as follows. Can you tell me what happened here? Tell me how I should feel when my life just seems to be in disarray. I feel you testing me with all your fantasies and you trying to keep me down, but I won't stay. End quote.
Jeez.
Dang, man.
No. I pass.
So W passes. Tyler?
Pass.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that was a good one.
Okay,
so you guys both give up on this one?
Yeah.
I'm throwing the towel.
It's Lillian Garcia's "You Just Don't Know Me at All" from the WWE original soundtrack back in 2004.
Oh,
bro, she's never come out on TV. She's always already in the ring.
She's done it a couple times. She's
a couple times.
Yeah.
A couple.
She did it a couple.
Key word, Rob. A couple times.
Hey, he said obscure.
Hey, shoot. Yeah, David, you want to hear it's funny? Because I give him like the one chorus to Mr. Kennedy's theme song, and Tyler completely whiffed on it.
You're gonna bring that up. Huh?
Well, the thing is, like, for me, like, there's big gaps in my knowledge of theme songs because, like, from 4 to about 10 is when I stopped watching wrestling, and then I picked it up from 10 to about 14, 15, and then stopped, and then picked it up sometime this year. I kept up with the internet, but like theme songs would probably not be my my forte.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
that's for me. It's like I know some theme songs, some I should know, but I whiff on. Mr. Kennedy. There was one he gave me Christy Hemme one time, and I'm like, all I know is that cheery music. I don't know the lyrics to it. It's just the cheeriness of the music that I remember. I don't remember the lyrics.
Yeah.
So what's your number 2? What's your second song?
Ooh.
Yeah, what's your number 2?
Number 2. Okay, here's one. So, out of here. So I'm gonna give you. Let's do. This world is crazy. Hold it on tight. Trying hard just to keep control. Don't let go. Don't worry, baby. I'll show you tonight. A way to soothe your soul. Come on, baby. Let's go. I know you're aching. I'm going to hold you tight until you stop all this shaking. Obviously, this is still
What year?
this is
Oh,
this is back on the WWE original soundtrack.
Oh,
Well, what
God.
year? What year though?
I think it's still still 04 because apparently Genius doesn't
04.
have.
Ah,
Okay, so it's 04, but I'll give you it's a man.
man.
The man.
It's a man from a certain iconic family. That's all I'll give you.
Man from a certain iconic family.
The lineage of
Is
some
it Randy
sort.
Orton?
Wrestling.
Is it Randy Orton? No, that was a little later, wasn't it?
That was the first thing in my mind too, because 04,
No.
Randy was there in 04.
Was he in
No.
04? It's not. Okay.
No, no.
I don't know.
No,
So-
no.
So, Debbie, you pass.
Yep.
Tyler,
Has to be some kind of cocky heel though. I know Randy was kind of a face in 04, but he was back heel in 05. Damn. Who is it? Lineage. The only one I know from like 04 that had a lineage was Randy.
you give up, Tyler?
I give up.
It's Rikishi from the
Oh,
NOI
Rikishi.
family.
Oh yeah.
Put a little
He
ass
does have
on
a
it.
name.
Is what is his theme song name.
A little
From back
ass on it. Makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yep.
Because Rikishi back in the day likes to put asses on things or on people.
But yeah, so that's gonna do it for the It's Really podcast. David, man, it was a pleasure having you on. If you guys
Yeah.
get not check him out, go check him out on the at David Turning Heel. So all great content. If you guys like review shows, this dude knows how to put it together. David, man, it's a pleasure.
I appreciate y'all having me on. I had
Oh,
a
it's
really
great.
good time. Thank you.
And that being said, guys, have a great rest
Yes,
of your day.
Peace.
Brandon?